Friends is one of the most influential TV shows of all time, so naturally, many sitcoms have tried to replace it, and while none could, some of them did a couple of things better. Friends was a huge success in the 1990s and early 2000s, and now ranks among the best TV shows of all time, changing sitcoms forever. Although some things haven't aged well, the stories of Monica, Chandler, Joey, Phoebe, Rachel, and Ross continue to be quite popular and are still quite rewatchable. Even while Friends was still airing, many TV shows tried to replicate it and even take its place, but none have been able to capture its magic and match its success. However, many of those shows that tried to be the new Friends succeeded on their own, and even did some things better, showing that they learned the right lessons from the iconic show. A message of friendship and acceptance. The Big Bang Theory, CBS via Moviestills DB. Created by Chuck Lorre and Bill Prady, The Big Bang Theory introduced the audience to nerdy and awkward friends and roommates Sheldon, Jim Parsons, and Leonard, Johnny Galecki, their equally socially awkward friends Howard, Simon Helberg, and Raj, Kunal Nair, and Sheldon and Leonard's neighbor, waitress and aspiring actress, Penny, Kaylee Cuoco. Like Friends, The Big Bang Theory follows the everyday lives of its main characters, their dynamics, and their struggles, mostly as they are all geeks and outcasts. It's thanks to this that The Big Bang Theory did better in its message of friendship and acceptance, not just within the group but with others, as well. One of the biggest complaints about the main group in Friends is that they were a closed one, and they weren't very accepting of others joining, and even between them, they weren't exactly the best of friends. A better exploration of adult friendships. Cougar Town. Cougar Town and Friends have a big link. Courtney Cox, who stars in Cougar Town as Jules Cobb, a recently divorced, single mother. Created by Bill Lawrence and Kevin Beagle, Cougar Town takes the audience to Gulf Haven, Florida. The title, Cougar Town, thanks to the mascot of the local high school. Cougar Town follows Jules as she enters a new chapter in her life. Friends follows its main group from their mid to late 20s to their mid-30s, and though most of them grow as people and mature, many of their problems and situations no longer fit their ages. Cougar Town, on the other hand, fully focuses on adult friendships, making it a worthy continuation of Friends even if they live in different universes. More balance between the main characters. Happy Endings. Created by David Casp, Happy Endings is one of the sitcoms most obviously inspired by Friends. Set in Chicago, Happy Endings follows the everyday lives of 6 friends, married couple Brad, Damon Wayans Jr., and Jane, Eliza Coop, Ditzy Alex, Alicia Cuthbert, Daydreamer Dave, Zachary Knighton, Slacker Max, Adam Pally, and Party Girl Penny, Casey Wilson. Happy Endings even has a similar beginning and focus as Friends, as it starts with Dave and Alex's wedding, but Alex leaves Dave at the altar. Although they decide to remain friends, they, and the rest of the group, have to adapt to this sudden change in their dynamic. Luckily, and unlike Friends, Happy Endings dropped this focus shortly after. This allowed Happy Endings to have more balance between its main characters, giving their stories the same focus and spotlight. Friends, on the other hand, spent too much time focusing on the chaotic relationship between Ross and Rachel. More complex and diverse friendships. Will and Grace. Will and Grace was created by David Cohen and Max Muchnick, and like Friends, it's set in New York City. Will and Grace follows the title characters, Will Truman, Eric McCormack, a gay man and a successful corporate lawyer, and Grace Adler, a straight woman and interior designer. Will and Grace met in college and have been best friends since then. Accompanying them are Jack, Sean Hayes, one of Will's closest friends, and Karen, Megan Mullally, Grace's assistant, married to a wealthy man and who has an alcohol use disorder. Will and Grace, then, focuses on their relationships, careers, and friendships, and, surprisingly, it has more complex and diverse friendships than Friends. The friendship between the main characters in Friends was more conventional, while Will and Grace presented more diverse friendships with those of the title characters and their individual friendships with Jack and Karen. Will and Grace didn't succeed at the same level as Friends, and it deserved better. Better handling of serious topics. How I Met Your Mother. One of the most successful sitcoms ever, and the most successful Friends replacement, is How I Met Your Mother. Created by Carter Bays and Craig Thomas, How I Met Your Mother takes the audience to Manhattan to meet Ted Mosby, Josh Radnor, who is telling his teenage kids how he met their mother. For that, How I Met Your Mother goes many years back to follow Ted as a young adult and his friends, long-standing couple Lily, Allison Hannigan, and Marshall, Jason Segel, Playboy Barney, Neil Patrick Harris, and news reporter and later Ted's girlfriend, Robin, Kobe Smulders. How I Met Your Mother, then, follows the many ups and downs in their personal and professional lives. How I Met Your Mother is very similar to Friends, but it went into territory that Friends never dared to. How I Met Your Mother addressed serious topics that made it a lot more relatable, while Friends either never touched on serious topics or only did it superficially. More mature ways of addressing relationships. Coupling. An underrated sitcom that tried to replace Friends is the British show Coupling, created by none other than Stephen Moffat. Coupling followed 6 friends in their early 30s and their adventures in dating, sex, friendship, love, and more. Coupling has a good dose of comedy and drama, and though it's obviously inspired by Friends, it feels more mature. Because of the themes addressed in Coupling, along with the ages of its characters, the dialogue, and more, the show was more daring and mature when it came to addressing the characters' relationships, particularly sexual ones. Coupling did so with a lot of humor, and even like that, it's a more mature approach than Friends. The Womanizer character's development. New Girl. Created by Elizabeth Merriweather, New Girl introduces the audience to Jess Day, Zooey Deschanel, a quirky teacher who one day finds out that her boyfriend is cheating on her. Jess then moves in with 3 strangers she found on the internet, and so she becomes roommates with Nick, Jake Johnson, Schmidt, Max Greenfield, and Coach, Damon Wayans Jr., who was later replaced by Winston, Lamorne Morris. With time, Jess and the boys become very close, and they support each other through all types of situations and problems. Out of the main characters of New Girl, the one with the best development and journey is, by far, Schmidt. Schmidt starts as the womanizer of the group, and he ends the show as a stay-at-home father so that his wife, Hannah Simone, can continue her career. Unfortunately, the same can't be said about Friends and its womanizer character, Joey. In fact, Friends did some reverse development on Joey, making him dumber and more childish than he was in the first season. By the end of Friends, Joey was the only single friend left in the group, and he didn't give up his womanizer ways until his failed spin-off show. More relatable stories. New Girl, How I Met Your Mother. Friends has many relatable